Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Slokam Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, Verse 11. Oh, I have to share that. Nirvidyamananam Ichchatam akuto bhayam
Vikshata vitabodayam
Yoginam nripanirnitam
Yoginam nripanirnitam
Harer namanukirtanam
Harer namanukirtanam
Nirvidyamananam
Kirtanya vidyamananam
Ichchatam akuto bhayam
Ikshatamakkuto bhayam
Yoginam nripanirnitam
Yoginam nripanirnitam
Harer namanukirtanam
Harer namanukirtanam
Nirvidyamananam
Etanirvidyamananam
Ichchatam akuto bhayam
Ikshatamadhuto bhayam
Yoginam nripanirnitam
Yoginam nripanirnitam
Harer namanukirtanam
Harer namanukirtanam
Any of you would like to recite, please go ahead.
Etanirvidyamananam Ikshitaam akuto bhayam Yoginam
nripanirnitam
Harer namanukirtanam
etanirvidyamananam
Etanirvidyamananam
Ichchatamakkuto bhayam
Ikshatamakkuto bhayam
Yoginam nripanirnitam
Yoginam nripanirnitam
Harer namanukirtanam
Harer namanukirtanam.
Translation purport by Stephen Girisavi Charnaru the Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Jasla Prabhupada is high. Synonyms.
Jai.
Etat, it is.
Etat, it is.
Nirvidyamananam, of those who are completely free from all material desires.
Nirvidyamananam, of those who are completely free from all material desires.
Ichchatam, of those who are desirous of all sorts of material enjoyment.
Ichchatam, of those who are desirous of all sorts of material enjoyment.
Akuthabhaya, free from all doubt.
Akutabhayam,
free from all doubt and fear.
Yoginam, of all who are self-satisfied.
Yoginam,
of all who are self-satisfied.
Nripa, O king.
Nripa, O king.
And Nirnitham, decided truth.
Nirnitam,
decided truth.
Hari, of the Lord Sri Krishna.
Hari
of the Lord Sri Krishna.
Nama, holy name.
Nama, holy
Nama,
name.
holy.
Anu, after some time, always.
Anu, after some
Anu,
time.
after someone, always.
Chanting, Kirtanam, chanting.
Kirtanam, chanting.
Kirtanam, chanting.
Translation. O king, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities.
O king, constant
Constant chanting of the holy name of
Lord
the Lord after the ways of the great
authority
authorities
Is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all,
is the doubtless
is the
and
doubtless and fearless way of success
for
for all,
all,
including those who are free from all material desires,
including those who are
those
free
who are
from
free
all
from all
material
material
desires,
desires,
those who are desirous of all material enjoyment,
those who are desirous
those
of
who are
all
desirous of
material
all material
enjoyment,
enjoyment,
and also those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge.
and
and
also
also those
those
who are
who are
satisfied by
self-satisfied
dint of
by dint of
transcendental
transcendental
knowledge.
knowledge.
Purport.
Purport. In the previous verse, the great necessity for attaining attachment to Mukunda has been accredited. There are different types of persons who desire to attain success in different varieties of pursuits. Generally, the persons are materialists who desire to enjoy the fullest extent of material gratification. Next to them are the transcendentalists who have attained perfect knowledge about the nature of material enjoyment and thus are aloof from such an illusory way of life. More or less, they are satisfied in themselves by self realization. Above them are the devotees of the Lord who neither aspire to enjoy the material world nor desire to get out of it. They are after the satisfaction of the Lord Sri Krishna. In other words, the devotees of the Lord do not want anything on their personal account. If the Lord desires, the devotees can accept all sorts of material facilities. And if the Lord does not desire this, the devotees can leave aside all sorts of facilities, even up to the limit of salvation. Nor are they self satisfied because they want the satisfaction of the Lord only. In this verse, Sri Shukadev Goswami recommends the transcendental chanting of the holy name of the Lord. By offenseless chanting and hearing of the holy name of the Lord, one becomes acquainted with the transcendental form of the Lord, and then with the attributes of the Lord, and then with the transcendental nature of his pastimes, etc. Here it is mentioned that one should constantly chant the holy name of the Lord after hearing it from authorities. This means that hearing from the authorities is the first essential. Hearing of the holy name gradually promotes one to the stage of hearing about his form, his attributes, his pastimes, and so on. And thus, the necessity of the chanting of his glories develops successively. This process is recommended not only for the successful execution of devotional service, but also even for those who are materially attached. According to Sri Shukadev Goswami, this way of attaining success is an established fact, concluded not only by him but also by all other previous acharyas. Therefore, there is no need of further evidence. The process is recommended not only for the progressive students in different departments of ideological success, but also for those who are already successful in their achievement as fruitive workers, as philosophers, or as devotees of the Lord. Srila Jiva Goswami instructs that chanting of the holy name of the Lord should be loudly done and it should be performed offenselessly as well. As recommended in the Padma Puran, one can deliver himself from the effects of all sins by surrendering himself unto the Lord. One can deliver himself from all offenses at the feet of the Lord by taking shelter of his holy name. But one cannot protect himself if one commits an offense at the feet of the holy name of the Lord. Such offenses are mentioned in the Padma Purana as big 10 in number. being 10 in number. The first offense is to vilify the great devotees who have preached about the glories of the Lord. The second offense is to see the holy names of the Lord in terms of worldly distinction. The Lord is the proprietor of all the universes, and therefore he may be known in different places by different names, but that does not in any way qualify the fullness of the Lord. Any nomenclature which is meant for the Supreme Lord is as holy as the others because they are all meant for the Lord. Such holy names are as powerful as the Lord, and there is no bar for anyone in any part of the creation to chant and glorify the Lord by the particular name of the Lord as it is locally understood. They are all auspicious, and one should not distinguish such names of the Lord as material commodities. The third offense is to neglect the orders of the authorized acharyas or spiritual masters. The fourth offense is to vilify scriptures or Vedic knowledge. The fifth offense is to define the holy name of the Lord in terms of one's mundane calculation. The holy name of the Lord is identical with the Lord himself, and one should understand the holy name of the Lord to be non different from him. The sixth offense is to interpret the holy name. The Lord is not imaginary, nor is his holy name. There are persons with a poor fund of knowledge who think the Lord to be an imagination of the worshipper and therefore think his holy name to be imaginary. Such a chanter of the name of the Lord cannot achieve the desired success in the matter of chanting the holy name. The seventh offense is to commit sins intentionally on the strength of the holy name. In the scriptures, it is said that one can be liberated from the effects of all sinful actions simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. One who takes advantages of this transcendental method and continues to commit sins on the expectation of neutralizing the effects of sins by chanting the holy name of the Lord is the greatest offender at the feet of the holy name. Such an offender cannot purify himself by any recommended method of purification. In other words, one may be a sinful man before chanting the holy name of the Lord, but after taking shelter in the holy name of the Lord and becoming immune, one should strictly restrain oneself from committing sinful acts with the hope that this method of chanting the holy name will give him protection. The eighth offense is to consider the holy name of the Lord, his chanting method, to be equal to some material auspicious activity. There are various kinds of good works for material benefits, but the holy name and his chanting are not mere some material auspicious activities. Undoubtedly, the holy name is holy service, but he should never be utilized for such purposes. Since the holy name and the Lord are of one of the same identity, one should not try to bring the holy name into the service of mankind. The idea is that the Supreme Lord is the supreme enjoyer. He is no one's servant or order supplier. Similarly, since the holy name of the Lord is identical with the Lord, one should not try to utilize the holy name for one's personal service. The ninth offense is to instruct those who are not interested in chanting the holy name of the Lord about the transcendental nature of the holy name. If such instruction is imparted to an unwilling audience, the act is considered to be an offense at the feet of the holy name. The tenth offense is to become uninterested in the holy name of the Lord, even after hearing of the transcendental nature of the holy name. The effect of chanting the holy name of the Lord is perceived by the chanter as liberation from the conception of false egoism. False egoism is exhibited by thinking oneself to be the enjoyer of the world and thinking everything in the world to be meant for the enjoyment of one's self only. The whole materialistic world is moving under such false egoism of I and mine. But the factual effect of chanting the holy name is to become free from such misconceptions.
Hari Om Tat
Hare
Sat
Krishna.
Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. This is a very beautiful words and the purport. The verse tells that chanting the holy name of is the only way for everybody and anybody. And in the purport, Prabhupada warnings that we cannot use the holy name for any materialistic purpose or nullifying our sinful activities, etc. There are 10 offenses against the chanting of the holy name. Every devotee must know that before initiation. The 10 offenses of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is very important to know each offense individually. Every day morning, we choose to recite after Mangalarti. Like the first offense is to chant, the first offense is to commit sinful activities, blaspheme the devotees of the Lord who have dedicated their life in propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second offense is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Third offense is to disobey the order of spiritual master and consider him an ordinary person. So like that, we used to recite the 10 offenses every day in the morning. So that habit should be there so that we remember that we not to commit offense when we are chanting the holy name of the Lord. So in today's verse, we saw very beautiful words. With similar words we have seen in Canto 1 also. That is, Akama Sarva Kamava Moksha Kama Udaradi Tivrena Bhakti Yonai Ajante Purusha Param. Whether one is having all kind of material desire or no material desire or want desire for liberation, they all must take to serious Bhakti Yoga only. Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. That is the only way. So without touching Bhakti Yoga, even material desire cannot be fulfilled. And here also similar thing in a different way. Srila Sukadeva Goswami directly talking this. Yethan Nirvidyamananam. There are three classes of men. One class of men is karmis. They are trying to enjoy the material resources. Ichatam, always desire. I want this, I want this, I want this. And another class, they are, rather what is called frustrated. They, after trying at most, I want this, when at the end do not get anything, he is frustrated. That is called nirvidyamanana. Nirvidya. I don't want. Or actually one is satiated or disgusted, you can say. So no more material world. I don't want it. They are called nirvidyamanana. So the one class is trying to possess and another class is trying to renounce. I don't want. One is I want. Another is I don't want. And another class is there, Akutobayam. Akutobayam. Who is Akutobayam? Akutobayam means one who does not fear at all. And who does not fear? Because fearfulness is one of the items of our conditioned life. Ahara nidra bayamaitunam cha. Eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. So, who is without any fear? That means he is also liberated. He is not in the material platform. He is transcendental. Who is out of the limits of the fearfulness. So, Akutobaya means the devotees. The devotees, Akama. The devotee is just like Prahlad Maharaj. His father teased him in so many ways, but he was not at all fearful. He was simply thinking of Narasimhadeva and he was fearless. So only the devotee who has fully surrendered to Krishna, he can be fearless. Narayana para sarvena kutaschana bipayati. Narayana para means devotees who have dedicated their life to the service of Krishna. Na kutaschana bibhyati. He does not fear any condition of life. So here, ichatam akuta. Ichatam means those who are desiring. Nirvidyamanana means those who are not desiring and renouncing. And the other class is akutobayam, fearless. And yoginam, another class is mystic yogis. So generally, these four classes of men are there. So Sukadeva Goswami says that for all of them, either he is karmi, or he is jnani, or he is yogi, or he is bhakta. Karmi means fruity worker, jnani means empiric philosopher, yogi means mystic, and bhaktas means devotees. So generally these four classes of men are there in the society. So Sukadeva Goswami is giving his judgment, Nirupa, my dear king, for all these classes of men, Nirunitam. It is already decided. This is Vedic conclusion. You haven't got to search out. You have to take information from the authority. So here Sukadeva Goswami's authority, that for all these classes of men, this is decided conclusively. What is that? Hare Nama Nukirtanam. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Either you are Jnani, either you are Yogi, either you are Karmi, you desiring something or not desiring something, but you have got your objective, perfection of life. So if you want that, then chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And when you are chanting the holy name of the Lord, the 10 offenses should be carefully avoided. Very beautifully, Prabhupada is explaining each of the offenses to be avoided in this particular purport. The first offense is the greatest offense. So in Mayapur, offenses are not considered, but the first offense is very seriously considered. Except Vaishnava Aparadha, all other offenses are not considered in the Mayapur Dham, but Vaishnava offense you should never ever commit at any cost. We ourselves want to become Vaishnava, otherwise we want to commit Vaishnava offense. So the first offense is to vilify the great devotees. So it is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life in propagating the holy name of the Lord. So that is called Hathi Mata offense. That is called mad elephant offense. Elephant, when it becomes mad, enters into a beautiful garden, it will destroy the whole garden. So like that, this offense against the Vaishnava Aparad is so serious that it will destroy our bhakti totally. So we have to be very vigilant and very careful to avoid all the 10 offenses when we were chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The purpose is to attain offenseless chanting. And offenseless chanting will give you blissfulness, Krishna Prem. So much, it's totally different. So we should experience every bit of the body. You will find enlivened by itself when you chant offenselessly. So that Ananda we should receive when we chant the holy name of the Lord. And for that we have to practice constant chanting of the holy name, 24 hours, both day and night. The chanting should go on. Chanting should go on, and then you can do any work. So when you are doing chanting and doing any work, automatically you are not entangled by the karma. So these are all the secrets. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments or realization you can share with me? Otherwise, tomorrow we'll go ahead with the 12 to 15 or 16. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hare Krishna, sir, and pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, regarding Vaishnava Aparadh, how do we, escape committing Vaishnava Aparadh between devotee couples, or what exactly is considered a Vaishnava Aparadh in such scenario?
Vaishnava Aparadh is simply finding fault at Vaishnavas. A Vaishnava is one who chanted the holy name even once. So we must offer our obeisances to the Vaishnavas. We should not see externally, we should not see a Vaishnava's activity or the speech as it is wrong. Finding fault, Kalir Doshe Niderajan. The Kali Yuga is full of faults only. So amongst the finding fault, we should not try to find fault in Vaishnavas. Rather, we should appreciate his Krishna consciousness, that this person is developing Krishna consciousness and trying to associate with the devotees and trying to serve to his fullest capacity by utilizing all the resources that is under disposal of him. So like that, we should try to avoid finding fault with anybody actually, because Prabhupada said one of the 4 defects is committing mistake. Prabhupada has accepted all of us with committing mistakes. As long as we are in the bodily identification, committing mistake is the identification. As soon as one is self-realized, completely situated in the self, then he will never ever commit any mistake. So Vaishnavas are in the process of self-realization. So when there is a Vaishnava one who is chanting the holy name of the Lord, even one round or even one time, he is considered a Vaishnava. He may be progressing. So we should never find fault on any Vaishnavas at any level, whether they are leader, preacher, or they are neophyte, or they are junior or senior, doesn't matter. We should never ever find fault on Vaishnavas, because committing mistake is the bodily identification, and that Guru will take care of him. So we need not correct that. So we should not find fault. So not finding fault will automatically avoid offending Vaishnavas. Finding fault means then we will do blaspheme them. Blaspheme means we will chastise them, or we will talk ill of them by their activity. That is called Vaishnava Aparadha. And that is the most dangerous offense we should never ever commit, even in dream. So never find fault in Vaishnavas. Don't expect a perfection from the Vaishnavas. Okay. When we expect something only, we will find fault. We should not expect anything from anybody. We should simply chant the holy name and appreciate others who are chanting the holy name. That is it. We should not find fault. So by avoiding finding fault, we can avoid from Vaishnava offense and offering obeisances. Whenever it's a Vaishnava, at least mentally, we should offer frustrated obeisances. That is very important.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
And take association from the Vaishnavas and serve them, so that we will also develop. Thank you very much. So we'll continue our Bhagavatam class tomorrow morning sharp at 8 o'clock. Till then, Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Patita
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Vaishnav Pranam. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya
Kalpatarushya
eva
kripa
cha
sindhubhya
patitanam
eva
pavanebhyo
cha
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
namo
Namah.
namaha.
Namaha.
Guru Maharaj ki jai. Nitai